Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of Wings and Wheels and its MX-5 series, presented by GGT Energy Solutions. This evening we're excited to bring you coverage of all the action from iRacing's virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway and Concord, North Carolina. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you the action from all types of racing with the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Joseph Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight's coverage is ARC Menards racer Braden Laster. DJ Line is working the controls as our producer. The Wings and Wheels MX-5 series is a league that consists of racing in the Mazda MX-5 cars, and it launches here tonight with a recruitment race. Drivers throughout this series will consist of both virtual racers as well as real-world competitors that come from the Whelen Mazda MX Cup, as well as from several other real-world series. One of the notables, for example, for the MX-5 series of note is Aaron Jeansonne. Many more you'll see tonight. Drivers will compete at both the road courses and the ovals throughout this series, with the champion being crowned with the end of 10 points-paying races and 2 total exhibitions, those with the star next to them on the 13th and July 4th. Braden, these are some of the top virtual and real-world drivers when it comes to MX-5 racing on iRacing, and they are strapping in for what should be an interesting night tonight here at Charlotte. What should we expect to see for the start of a brand new series?
That if you're looking for the best, what you found, and we don't care about who the rest are, where they're at, because the best are right here, right in front of you. You mentioned, this is some of the top drivers across all varying degrees of motorsports. We got Mazda drivers, we got Indy Next drivers, we got some NASCAR guys in here. We got basically anything that races in a competitive manner across the United States and even across the sea. We have drivers representing each of those various leagues, I guess, both on iRacing and in the real world running this league. Not all of them here tonight, but quite a few of them are. And when you look at real life drivers and you put them in iRacing, take the top iRacing drivers, one thing is very similar between them, and that is the thirst for competition. There's nothing a driver loves more than being competitive, and especially in an iRacing manner. It doesn't hurt as much if you wreck here versus the real world, and definitely doesn't cost as much. So you're going to have a lot of real world rivalries going to come out and play tonight.
And in turn, we're at Charlotte Motor Speedway in its respective oval. Let's talk about the racetrack here tonight, because it is a night race currently, and that means one thing. You're going to have to focus on the headlights to see around this racetrack tonight. This could be a tricky one around this 2.28-mile oval.
That definitely one of the trickier ovals. You look at that infield section, and it's up, down, hard, braking zones. A lot of prime opportunity for passing. And have the two chicanes or bus stops there going into turn 3 of NASCAR and going down the front straightaway off of turn 4 in NASCAR. So it's a very fun track with the right car, and we're definitely in the right car. Mazda MX-5, low horsepower, low downforce. Definitely a driver's car, and we got some of the best drivers here tonight. So it's going to be very interesting, very fun to watch.
And in turn, tonight's race, with it being a recruitment race to bring in more, it's got plenty of real-world drivers, as we talked about, from Arco Menards racers to USAC Silver Crown legends, all inclusive too with MX-5 Cup racers, several which coming out of victory lane just a couple weeks ago, like we said with Jeansonne just 3 weeks ago with WeatherTech Raceway. We're going to Seca. The weather conditions as well tonight going to be nice and cool for our 30-lapper. As we take a look here, Maconi set up shop race analysis here in the next moment. Full fuel load, so shouldn't expect pit stops here, but it's pretty simple. Don't have any trouble. There's a fast repair available if needed, but if you want to run well here, you better not use it.
Yeah, definitely with the competition here. Normally, in a rookie-ish setting, you have quite a bit of people that aren't up to speed. Look at the field tonight. I mean, these guys are fast, especially look at the practice times. These are pretty close to almost like track record setting paces by a lot of these drivers, and most of them didn't even practice going into the night. So any room for mistake, there isn't any.
Well, less than 2 minutes away before the start of tonight's action to start off a new series here for Wings and Wheels and its foundation. Let's talk about the foundation a little bit, because we're talking about that a lot before tonight. It strives to identify young, talented drivers and help place them in a supportive environment led by professionals who've achieved a high level of success in the motor industry. Just about everybody a part of the 2024 roster, Braden, is a part of tonight's action.
Yeah, they are an awesome group of people there, and Ray Mobile has put this whole operation together as far as the iRacing scene goes. I know him and his wife, Bree, work a lot together with Wings and Wheels, and Evan McAllisters, too, that do a lot with them. They run the whole Wings and Wheels Foundation. They built it from the ground up, to my understanding. But they're an awesome organization going, or looking at the bigger spectrum of racing. You got a lot of young talent there that just doesn't know how to make it to the next level. Whether in go-karts, try and get to Bandoleros, Legends, or go on the road course side, try to move up in the Mazda Miatas or spec racers or Indy Next. It takes a lot of money and definitely takes a lot of contacts, and you don't really know going into that if you're a new driver, a first-generation driver, and Wings and Wheels helps those drivers to help identify that young talent and get them to that next level.
And it should be an interesting night to start off this series, less than 35 seconds away from the start of its first grid here this evening. Who are some of the names to keep an eye on, in your opinion? Because this talent list, at least those who are getting ready to see what they can do tonight, is pretty deep.
Yeah, we got Nathan Nicholson, one of the faster drivers in qualifying, and definitely one of the quickest when it came to practice. But I got to go with Ayrton Hook, a driver that I know competes a lot in the open wheel scene in the Indy Next tiers and the series. And I've seen him compete a little bit in real life, and he's a great road course guy. And it's not, as far as I'm aware, I don't know how much experience he has with the Mazdas in real life. He needs to find about a second half, though, looking at his qualifying times. But he was very consistent in practice, but he's a survivor. I think that's going to be a huge play here tonight.
Drivers finishing things up in qualifying. It's time to get ready for your starting grid. 9 of the drivers entered tonight elect to set qualifying times. It's time to see who entered and is ready to conquer Charlotte Motor Speedway. The drivers making their way to the starting grid right now for tonight's action here on Maconi Entertainment. It's Nathan Nicholson, who, as said, is on the pole. He'll start alongside the rear-world racer Aaron Jeansonne. The difference between the two, 2/10 in qualifying. Joshua Soto starts in row 2. Soto will lead the inside alongside Olivia Piatek, one of the rear-world racers from Spec Miatas. Trey Burke, one of the racers for the USAC Silver Crown Series, starts off 5th with Dylan Lee in 6th. Ayrton Hook starts off in 7th tonight with the Indy Next machines, as well as the rookies in USF 2000. Andrew Adams, starts off at 8th. Andrew Gilliland, he'll start himself 9th. And the next driver on the slotted list would be Morgan Burkhart. The rest of the drivers, we'll see how they populate here, Braden. A lot of drivers with connection to the series did take part in final practice. Of note, some of those who did not qualify. Kendall Tucker, one of the iRacing World of Outlaws dirt racers, on the platform.
Yeah, a couple of drivers seems like you mentioned, just kind of using this as a practice session, not actually appearing for the race. So we'll see who fills the rest of the grid slots here. And only 9 drivers electing to take a time, though. And your top 4 guys are all within about 3.5 4/10 together. When you look at like an oval, that's comparable. Look at a road course, though, especially Charlotte Roval here with 12 turns, 4/10 across 2.28 miles. That is close.
Some of the other starters of note that have now made their way to the grid are Mulville, as we talked about, with his experience with the organization, and Robert Mott will start at the tail as we start the pace lap. Very quickly, your keys to victory if you want to get the job done over the course of the next 45 minutes, 30 laps.
It's going to be a long race, 30-ish to 35 laps. Just doing some quick math here, but keeping the nose on it, keeping it clean, keeping it in one piece, not having to pit. You don't have to. You're going to lose a ton of time. You have to come down under green flag and pit. They said they'll throw caution maybe if they have to, but that'd have to be a field wrecker there.
And remember, one faster pair if necessary, if that does come into play, but no expected cautions per the race analysis. For the racing itself tonight, fixed setups for the drivers across the field. But as we get set for the field to roll, it'll be Nathan Nicholson in control. He'll lead things off for the left side of the racetrack. Then it's Jeansonne who will start for the right side. Coming up, a fantastic run at WeatherTech Racer Gunaseka. We're underway, though, here from Charlotte. The Wings and Wheels MX-5 action is underway from Charlotte.
They're already 3 wide in the back, but Nicholson with the earth advantage through turn 1. Somehow everyone keeps it straight, but they're going to be 3 wide through turn 2 here.
Clean start for the field. Never mind. At least 2 riding the wall. That was Hook going around to the heart of the field. Lee also forced to check up. Now 2 more spin out in front of him. All sorts of chaos. That was Jeansonne and Trey Burke. More spins coming out of the corner. That's Ian Adams this time. And we talked about this off the top. There are no lights in the infield here at the Roval, and the lights are just out from your headset and from your headlights. So far, slippy slidey for those in the infield.
The Kendall Tucker, another driver going around Nicholson, still in the early advantage. Joshua Soto is actually going to pass Jeansonne due to being involved in that spin. So Jeansonne's dropped a little bit. He's at the back of the pack after starting second, but you look through the running order, you got a lot of guys that started up front. They're in the back of this pack, and a lot of guys that are in the back, they're up front.
Yeah, Nicholson, the only one really without troubles here to start. He's one of the several drivers in the field with significant iRacing experience on top of the rear wheel side, but no surprise Soto's up here as well. Others, they're trying to get the bump trap going. That's Piatek trying to work with Soto. Soto, a 2023 Mazda Shootout nominee, getting a little bit squirrely with the push.
I'm telling you, that bump drafting works in these cars, especially huge on other roads like Daytona. Not quite as effective here, but they're able to go about a mile to 2 miles an hour quicker in that short NASCAR 3 and 4 there. So definitely works together, and gonna go in the darkened part of the track here through the infield. You mentioned it last time, by no lights in the infield. You have to use your headlights to gauge your braking markers. So you gotta find something and be consistent with your braking points here.
Yeah, these are two of the drivers with lots of experience when it comes to the style of racing. Nathan Nicholson, you also throw in that group, a 2024 Mazda US factory driver, in fact, after winning the Mazda Motorsports Scholarship Award just last season on top of the Spec MX-5 Points Championship. Nicholson's not going to be easy to beat because that's also a name, with Nate Nicholson at least, that's synonymous to the oval side of the platform.
Yeah, we definitely know the Nicholson name quite a bit, but we seem to have a bit of a three-car breakaway there in the Piatek, Soto, and Nicholson, about second half of their each other. And Morgan Burkhart's kind of by himself, just kind of Sunday cruising. Draft is a huge factor. I didn't think would come into that much play. Sorry to interrupt you there, JP, but you saw how much Burkhart closes going through that backstretch bus stop there.
Yeah, I was about to say, before they added the backstretch chicane here, that road course section for Charlotte, it featured a lot of draft down the back straightaway, setting up to what is NASCAR 3 and 4. Of course, the chicane adds a little bit of wrench to that, Braden, but it's still an opportunity for these drivers in what is outside of that limited in drafting potential.
Yeah, got a replay here for you.
Let's take a look at what happened with Andrew T. Gilliland. And this was right off the start, 3 wide. He's currently 7th. He definitely got pinched around here.
That was the first of a couple spins. Then you had Hook that went around in front of him. Adams, I know, had trouble in front of him. Trey Burke, Kendall Tucker. Basically, everyone struggled big time. I think a big factor, too, with this car is, most cars get their tires up to the optimal temperature fairly quickly. The Miata is a car that struggles big time getting their tires up to that optimal maximum grip temperature. And look at the weather. We're racing at midnight in sim time here, basically. And track temperature, 65 degrees. It's fairly chilly out.
That's the lowest it can go on the platform, give or take 1 or 2 degrees. So this will be a tough surface to warm up tires in general here today. Piatek on top of the Miata experience. Also somebody that races along the X30 in KA100 junior levels in the go-kart scene. He's amongst those leading this respective pack now. Morgan Burkhardt, meanwhile, he's gone 10th to 4th. He's in the middle of the pack now.
And moving his way up through the field, started 10th. One of the drivers that didn't qualify, first driver in the start grid to not qualify. He's about to take 3rd if he can get it. Actually, he's up to 3rd, trying to get around Piatek now. And they're not really letting Nathan Nicholson pull too far away. Actually, just about 3-4 tenths quicker. That time by dive bomb. Thinks about it, thinks better of it. Burkhardt right behind Oliver there for that second spot.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bold moment there once again for Burkhardt. He's one of the drivers with experience from several different MX-5 series, including one of the top ones on the platform, the Simufy MX-5 World Sim Series. It's a world championship, which features several of its real-world competitors, hence why some of the logos on his car. He's also these days running in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge as part of his goals for 2024.
Some too looking through the field, and I'm watching these guys start to bump draft a little bit. Some we're going to have to watch is you can actually, with a new damage mod on these cars, you can knock the front bumper and the headlights off of these cars. Can you imagine going through the infield portion with no headlights at all?
I think that would be very, 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 very disastrous at this point of the time. Because, as we said, you cannot see without the headlights in that infield. It's all down to muscle memory and maybe the brightness on your monitor if you end up losing them.
Yeah, I'll just hop in behind someone and have them follow the way. Speaking of following the way, Piatek and Burkhardt right behind Nicholson used the draft through NASCAR 1 and 2, caught up to him through NASCAR 3 and 4, now going through that front stretch bus stop there, able to get right in the back bumper Nicholson.
So the driver coach and Burkhardt looking to see if he can teach these two what to do on defense. Burkhardt right now in prime position. He basically reeled him, Piatek, and Soto back into the conversation from 2 seconds back. That's how big some of the draft can be here down the back straightaway sections here today.
That draft is very effective here, as you've seen it. It's even more effective when you have someone like Morgan Burkhardt that knows how to play with it, use it, and like, oh, trouble, I believe it's Ray Mobile. It is. He stopped basically through the NASCAR, or through the roll there, exiting onto the NASCAR track almost. He's going park. I think he's going toe. Right now. He's done.
Mobile does pull into the garage. Piatek pulls to the race lead. Able to take advantage. Now the push coming from Burkhardt, and Soto wants to work with him too. Up in the second groove. Now contact. Nicholson gets turned around. They slide down to the apron, down the backstretch. Burkhardt able to get away. Nicholson not so much.
Now that's a bump draft gone wrong by Burkhardt. Spins Nicholson around, and bye-bye, have a good time. That's going to leave Oliver Piatek to the lead, and Joshua Soto is right behind him. We had a 4-car battle there. Dylan Lee about 10 seconds back, but Soto now has a bit of a gap to Piatek.
And what a move again. Bad bump to the corner, and the bad bump turns into very, very bad bump.
Yeah, that definitely is not the lap that Nicholson won. He's not going to pit, so damage not too bad, but he has a ton of time to make up. Still about 37 minutes left in the race, so plenty of time to make up. Crossing the line now, that's about 9.5 seconds back. So Burkhardt actually is back in this thing. I didn't realize he was able to keep it going.
And that's surprisingly with significant damage on the front nose. Joshua Soto saying, I'll let you go, and a slowdown for Piatek. That allows the race lead to go to Burkhardt from the outside.
Yeah, I did not see that one coming. Burkhardt goes from spinning Nathan Nicholson out of second. Damage on his car, able to drive up to these guys and take the lead through the road course portion of this track. I did not expect that at all.
And how about the battle keeping up, though? Burkhardt loses the bottom. Piatek again gets the wraparound to be able to get to the lead. Still back and forth like a pendulum swing when it comes to this point. More defensive for the bus stop, though. Burkhardt looking very hard to push here. He is one of the drivers, too, that so happens to have announcing experience. He's one of the announcers for this style of racing on one of the air broadcast networks. He's trying to wrap the top of the racetrack for the lead.
They're almost think about going 3 wide. Soto's hanging back. Crossover move by Burkhardt. Looks to the outside through the front stretch bus stop. Now to the inside. Has successful crossover. Going side by side for the lead here. Give it to Piatek, though. A little bit advantage. Going to the one. Bobbles a little bit. Harder than braking low. Too hard. They're side by side once again through turn 1 and 2 here.
Still not done yet, though. It's the side-by-side. Able to get it back as Piatek again wrapping around on the cross inside line. Able to get the battle back once again. Here comes Burkhardt working the left side of the racetrack for himself right on your screen. Despite all the damage, he's driving like that car has no damage. And this is a platform now with the new damage model effect since last week. These drivers are acting like there's no damage on these noses.
No, not at all. Looking at the bit of a history, these drivers have competed against each other quite a bit, both in the real world, I believe, and in sim racing quite a bit as far as I can find. But both these drivers are with real world MX-5 Mazda experience. Burkhardt, a little bit of a road racing background himself, has done some SC type racing like the SC10 or SC8, the radical cars, and then Oliver Piatek, a little bit of a karting. I don't know where coding came from, but karting background himself. So two very extinguished and established road course racers are going at it.
Nicely done. Once again on the side-by-side, Burkhardt, the 2023 Jim Fitzgerald Rookie of the Year from the SCCA, working again on the contact. Still trying to keep a pinch. They made contact last time for this portion down the front stretch. This time Burkhardt gets the edge. Look who is back. Nathan Nicholson. How about that?
I was gonna say, count the headlights, JP, because we got a 4-car battle. Once again, Nathan Nicholson back in. It goes around Soto like he's standing still. I think Soto might have had to slow down or just didn't want anything to do with this battle. But lap time-wise, Nathan Nicholson's been absolute flying his last couple laps. I mean, he was 2-3 seconds a lap faster than almost anyone on the track, and especially these guys in front of him. He's about to drive his way back up to the lead if he can help it.
This kind of showcases the speed, what we talked about in NASCAR, didn't we? In terms of the Nicholson side of things. He's now all over the back bumper for the lead. Forced to check up on Pitek again. Burkhardt waiting in the popcorn seat as Nicholson reclaims the point.
And Nicholson also another driver with real-world Mazda experience. Actually out of Bloomington, Indiana. So a bit of a hometown Hoosier, at least in regards of Wings and Wheels and myself. And now gets a bump from Burkhardt to the lead. Slingshot engaged. It's going to be 3 wide through the backstretch chicane. Nicholson comes out on top. Burkhardt second. Piatek's going to settle for third.
Nicely done yet again on the dicey dice. Nathan Nicholson able to run away now as they now try and use the draft to try and break away. Again, before the iRacing build, nobody ran the top like they're doing here tonight. That's a different line than we've seen on the platform all year.
Yeah, definitely a unique line for sure. And the Mazda, what the not a unique line is Morgan Burkhardt getting in the wall a little bit there, coming across start finish line. It might hurt him a little bit, but I think Nicholson's about to pull away. He's found something that no one else has, it seems. Qualified up front, drove back from being 10 seconds back in a matter of 2-3 laps. And now he's not going to have to battle with anyone. And currently came into this race, actually had a top 10 run in the actual Mazda Whelen MX-5 Cup series at Mid-Ohio just 3 or 4 days ago. So, I mean, he's going from real world to sim, almost effortlessly, it seems.
Yeah, and remember, when it comes to things, he's one of those who, you talk about the pipeline from iRacing Real World to Virtual, who is amongst those that got opportunities for the Real World racers to the virtual. He's now having to sacrifice the lead, though, for the draft because here comes a squeeze, and Doring, another move. Burkhardt holds him off. Pitek again on the bumper. Nicholson eats the bumpers up like it's breakfast and nearly sends himself to the barrier.
Yeah, I don't know if he's kind of playing with these guys. He has the speed. I mean, he was 3 seconds lap faster than these guys for quite a bit. I was looking up there running the wall, almost like they were ripping and lipping in a dirt late model, but quite the opposite. Soto still maintaining that spot in fourth, kind of cruising behind these guys, not making any moves. And also looking at the current Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup standings, Nicholson the highest ranked rookie in 5th. Yeah,
some argy-barging is starting to build up here. More squeezes. Nicholson squeezed out. Burkhardt able to get the run. You have to wonder what Soto's thinking in all this, just watching along in the popcorn seat, one of the Skip Barber graduates, and seeing everybody say, you know what? I don't know about these fenders. I like to use all of them to rub all the paint off and bump each other here.
I mean, that's one fun thing about iRacing we talked about. It definitely doesn't hurt as much when you wreck on iRacing. It definitely doesn't cost as much either. So you got a lot of real-world talent here that these guys racing each other quite a bit, both in sim and a little bit in the real world, just kind of depending on where they're running at and what series. But yeah, we got here, have fun and race their hardest. If they wreck. But so far they've been putting on quite a show. And someone to watch. We've had this 4-car battle here. Dylan Lee in 5th has slowly but surely been closing on that gap. It's not quite there yet, but he's made up about 10, 15-ish seconds to pass 3-4 laps over the course of this battle. So he's going to be closing in pretty soon here.
He's one of the entered amateurs when it comes to the spreadsheet coming into tonight for this series. And, I mean, they're running 132.9s in front. He is reeling them in a second a lap. That's how aggressive they're racing with under 30 minutes on the clock.
I mean, you'd think they were going for the last lap here, the way they're absolutely sending it every single corner, using each other up. I mean, I've heard 8 tires are better than 4. Well, how about 12?
Yeah, and right now, another 133.6 for the race leader, Nathan Nicholson, with all the aggressive battling. Lee is now inside the drafting range to make it a 5-car battle from aggressiveness so far to start off the season. Lee, so far tonight, has been very quiet. He started this race in 6th, avoided most of the troubles. In fact, believe he was nearly one of those spun around early in the race, and now is in the wings to catch up to the wheels of the rest of the pack.
Yeah, Lee actually got in that first direct incident going through turn 1 and 2 a little bit. Didn't quite spin like a couple other drivers did, but get forced up, or he got forced up in the wall. Actually caught air, caught 2 wheels, and now he's going for the lead. It seems that these Mazda MX-5s, they have a fast repair, but I don't think they need it because I don't know who makes them or what, but these things are absolute tanks.
You can get some hits on them, but not a lot. You don't want to get to where you break the wheel off. That's been close sometimes, especially with the contacts with Burkhardt tonight. Burkhardt once again to the lead, though, with the trap to the bus stop. It's almost getting the sense, and we're not even halfway to the race here, where these drivers are setting up to where if you're in the race lead too early, you're going to be in trouble by the final corner. It's 3 wide again.
Speaking of being in trouble, Soto finally making a move for the lead, going back out of it, though. Was bottom 3 wide. They're going to fall back to 4th. Nicholson in 3rd. Still side by side. That's Piatek and Burkhardt cross the line. Still 27 minutes to go, but Burkhardt going to lead that lap barely. But I think go with your point there. I don't think anyone wants to get too much of an advantage to the draft. It's just too much, and going to get flown by standing still. And now we got Dylan Lee in the battle.
It's starting to get very, very tightly knit amongst these 5. Lee had been up to 7 seconds back a few minutes ago, and that's how aggressive they've now been. So the pink machine has been on the prowl and ready to pounce if there's another slip up. We've seen Soto remain patient, interestingly enough, though. So there is some balance between patience and pushing hard amongst this pack. It's just so happened the top 3 want to push.
I mean, everyone not quite as bunched up this time going through NASCAR 1 and 2-0 last time, but still quite a bit of ample opportunity left. Nicholson closing up on Burkhardt. I mean, the draft in these cars is absolutely insane, and especially for a road course. New in the real world. Oh, Nicholson in the wall a little bit. At Daytona, drafting is huge there, but we don't have the big wide straightaways and the big wide corners like they do at Daytona. So I don't think it'd be a huge factor, but being proven wrong and getting a great race in front of our very own eyes here.
Yeah, you have to wonder though. Can't stay like this forever. There's a good reason why. Burkhardt missed the corner. And again, to the lead goes the Delta Sport entry. Olivier Piatek again able to charge through it all.
Yeah, definitely very exciting, very interesting watching the brutality, I guess, as the cars, as the drivers are absolutely pushing them to the limits, both on the track and into the wall a little bit. Soto closing up in 2nd now. So Piatek with a little bit of advantage. We've seen they're basically very vulnerable when you pull out half-second lead like that.
So far, it's been an aggressive one. Already coming up to 25 minutes to go this time around. So far, the leader has been only able to break away maybe a couple seconds at best, and it looks like Dylan Lee stuck on the chip. Under attack now by both Nicholson and Burkhardt. Just going to stay to the outside as Burkhardt gets the help from Nicholson.
So I'm hearing from Ray Mobile, who we mentioned, put together this whole league, this whole dealio. He says drivers need gas, and they are asking for a competition caution in Discord. So we'll see if they get that competition caution. So it's something to keep note. They don't have enough gas, it seems, to go to the distance. We thought they did. We've been proven wrong, though, and we'll see if they get that comp.
There it is. They got it. Just after 13 laps of racing, the caution is out for fuel. So Piatek, Soto, Burkhardt, your top 3, Nicholson and Lee in the main pack. This helps especially Jeansonne, who was the last car in the lead lap. This is going to put him back in the ball game.
Something to think here too. There's going to be a long caution with it being a road course, and we're doing 1.5 times under green. These are going to be about 2.5, 3-ish, maybe minute-long cautions. So we're going to cut away 10 minutes, maybe give or take a little bit more off the clock here. So we'll go green flag racing only about 15 minutes or 10 to 12 laps left.
Now let's take a quick break. Pit stops coming up. You're watching Maconi Entertainment for the start of a new series, Wings and Wheels, and its GGT Energy MX-5 series underway from Charlotte.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage of Wings and Wheels in the GGT Energy MX-5 series as pit stops are underway here at Charlotte on Maconi Entertainment. Justin Prince, Brendan Laster with you, DJ Liner, producer. As the drivers currently come in for fuel, only Jeansonne and Mott are the only ones not to pit there. Everybody else pitting for fuel and or tires. Now, tires expected to be okay here, but we did get 2 tires from Nicholson. No tires, it looked like, coming out from Soto. So as we get sorted out here, Braden, this should get us, for those who are tight on fuel, very much so good on fuel.
Yeah, I think it was a little closer for those guys running up front because they're going a little bit harder than some guys in the back half of the pack. So we got Aaron Jeansonne there who doesn't need to pit for fuel. And continues to stay. He might pit next time by. I'm not 100% certain. Robert Mott, driver who actually I don't think was even on the initial starting grid. I don't think we saw him there. So not really sure where he came from, but a couple guys there electing, like you mentioned, electing to not come down that past time.
Can't confirm Robert Mott was your last starter here, but Jeansonne is amongst those who was considered one of the main success stories when it comes to this organization. He's had a strong past couple months. He, in fact, top 5 previously to that win in California. So far, it's been an interesting year for the 24 machine in real life, and one of the drivers coming off a strong 2023 and in turn, part of the 2024 class for Wings and Wheels.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm getting clarification here from Ray, who runs the league. It's Aaron. We need more emphasis on the French, I guess. Jeansonne, like Sean. Jeansonne. Yeah, some more French in there, I guess. So our caution lights off. Caution lights are still on the pace car, so we're going to pace for at least another lap and a half here. So last time by, a little bit quicker than I anticipated. Those guys that pit were right at 3 minutes. Driver that did not pit, Aaron, in the lead, right at about 2 minutes. So we're going to take off another 3.5, 4 minutes here before we get back going green flag racing.
So this shuffles the field a little bit here. As a result, we'll see how this start goes compared to the initial one. Dylan Lee amongst those who is now all the way back into the 8th position because of how things got shuffled here. Soto, Bytek, Nicholson, Burkhardt, your top 5. It's going to be an interesting one, though, because Burkhardt did not use the fast repair as a result of his incident, so he'll elect to keep the damage despite that. Soto, by the way, just came in, and he'll be down a second time now this caution.
Yeah, Aaron Jeansonne still hasn't pitted yet, so he's not going to top off on fuel. I think the one thing that will help him out here is he's going to have heat already in his tires. When we saw the cold tires, so just getting fuel. No, he's going to get some right sides currently as well. We saw it took 2-3 laps for these guys to really get heat in their tires, and Aaron might be able to pull away a little bit, but you know how vulnerable you are when you're able to pull away and have no help whatsoever.
And keep in mind, the lights are out on top of the iRacing pace car. It's going to be an interesting one on the tires side, by the way, because tire heat is a big thing on the platform. Most teams just top off on the fuel in the league scene, mind you, on the platform. That's going to be one of the differences, I think, real world to virtual, maybe.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys, especially Brad Perez, is very vocal in iRacing when it comes to road course cars, and especially in a NASCAR scene, we're a little bit different, but road course cars in general typically don't match their real-world variants. So that's one thing that we have a lot of drivers, with that real-world Mazda MX-5 experience coming over. They're going to have to kind of play their cards a little bit differently.
Jeansonne now trying to get things set up here as the control car for this upcoming start. That's by Tech. Then you have Nicholson trying to do the iRacing thing. That is no longer a thing, by the way, as of 3 builds ago. Then alongside is Burkhardt. Rounding out the top 5 is Hook. And it's going to be an interesting one for Ayrton Hook. He was amongst those in the spinner rounds early on. We haven't seen that car since the first lap.
But now everyone's back together in a neat little Brady bunch here, getting ready to go back at it. We saw how much or how effective it is when you're in a pack of cars. Not even a pack, but you have one person help you out. You can go about a second, half 2 laps, or 2 seconds a lap quicker down or through the NASCAR oval portion of this track, and then going down to the chicane. So having someone to help, Ayrton on the first lap last time lost all that help and was kind of by himself most of that last run. So bit of an opportunity showing themselves for these guys.
And just about ready to go as they're getting a little bit antsy for this restart. Already going 3 wide, and we haven't even reached the restart zone. How will they play things out? Remember, 3 spins on the opening lap. They'll have about 16 minutes to decide it here to see how the inaugural race for Wings and Wheels and its GGT Energy MX-5 series goes here on iRacing. Pace car is off. Jeansonne now in control from the left side of his racetrack on your right. Green, green, green. Off and away. Nicholson follows suit, is already looking for the lead as it's 3 wide for third.
Around Piatek in second. They're going to be 3 wide. They're right behind him. Hook on the bottom takes the opportunity to give it to him. He's going to make the most of it. Up to third already, side by side with Burkhardt. Side by side for the lead, though. That's Jeansonne and Nicholson, though. Nicholson on the outside. Going to lose the spot through the road course portion here.
Now John able to play defense as there's a slide into the middle of the infield. That is Piatek around. Olivier going around in the middle of the field. We stay going. All while Jeansonne now tries to pull away, trying to play some defense. They go bumper cars hard to the wall. Ian Adams checks up the pack.
That's a rough go-around for Adams. Talk about drivers, though, that weren't quite in the run in the first time. Robert Mott, we mentioned, wasn't even on the starting grid when we went through it the first time in that Barbie car, beautiful pink car back there. He's now kind of chasing down this lead pack.
Of note as well, off the track is Dylan Lee. He got bounced into a wall for a meatball flag. He's now out of contention for this race victory with under 15 minutes to go. Jeansonne trying to hold on. It's 2x2 into the bus stop behind. Trey Burke, Adams involved. Joshua Soto trying to make up lost time with Andrew Gilliland to help him.
Jeansonne, remember, qualified on that front row outside of Nathan Nicholson and got spun, got shoved in the wall, and a little bit of everything in between on that first lap and was never really in the running. So I don't think he needed fuel. He was trying to save a little bit more on that last run than everyone else, and he thinks he's able to go to the end here. So he's got a quick car. No, that's not going to work out.
That was Soto going around, and that's going to lose him some body parts. The 07 now out of the conversation. So two of your main pack drivers have incidents in the opening lap or two since the restart. You know who's been much cleaner though? Hook, he is still in the conversation for the lead pack. The top three are trying to bump draft away. But you have Hook, who is trying to wait and see what happens to close up again.
Well, I think being in a big pack that Jeansonne, Nicholson, and Burkhart are definitely can help you out if you play it right. But the way they're bumping each other, racing each other, and going absolutely at it, I don't think it's going to work out for them. They're not going to make up that much time, as Hooks will be able to close up and get the draft off of Burkhart. Looks like you're going through NASCAR 1 and 2.
What's happened to Soto? Let's take a look once again. What happened to him? He's now back to 10th from this.
That going through the final bus stop there, he's kind of lost it by himself. That was Trey Burke who checked up, went around him right on the outside, about got into him, but it's a little bit of a solo spin.
And as a result, he's way back in the running order and without a drafting partner on the racetrack. Up front, Jeansonne trying to hold on in front. Nicholson providing lots of pressure. Interesting enough, the run through the opening corners, two different approaches. Nicholson trying to wrap the curbs. He's going to wrap the inside for the lead.
Now through turn 2, going in the 3 sharp right-hander, doesn't have the inside advantage. Jeansonne gets a bump from Burkhart now, shoots him up the track. Burkhart not taking advantage of it, wrapping the curb though, playing with the turtle curbs, definitely getting the tires right on them. Especially I've noticed Burkhart is a driver very aggressive on the curbs, rough on the suspension, and isn't afraid to send it a little deep.
Now, Nicholson just lost the pack, by the way, Braden. You know why? Slow down. He ended up taking too much curbing. You go more than 50% over any of the curbing around this racetrack, and that's enough to cause a slowdown via iRacing. You have about X amount of seconds to serve the slowdown for X amount of time, or else you go backwards. Up front, Jeansonne now under attack. That is Burkhart to the right. He looks to try and work from the top to the bus stop, trying to go for the up and under, can't.
That crossover move by Burkhart, not quite able to make it. Stay gonna get the draft now through NASCAR 3 and 4. Build up another run going down the final bus stop there, coming off of NASCAR turn 4, and he'll have an ample opportunity here if he can get it.
Both of them utilizing all the inside. Burkhart to the inside for the final corner for a moment. No place doing. And now that's Hook's music at this point. Within 3 car lengths right now, the distance between second and third now. And that puts the focus possibly on what happens between Burkhart and Jeansonne. What is going to happen with the 8 machine in the wings of these two fighting.
Yeah, also see that third place like you just mentioned, Aaron Hook there. He's closed up to these guys big time right behind Burkhart and Jeansonne. They're basically playing bumper cars, and I don't know how they didn't come off NASCAR turn 4 last time by, but coming about 10 minutes left in the session, so only a handful of laps, 5, 6, 7, 8 laps or so.
Gonna have to play it smart, and we've seen Burkhart play it extremely aggressive today. He's looking aggressive again to the outside. No help though. Short distance the better line for the time being. But he does get the draft back to attempt this once again. This is going to be an interesting test now. Burkhart almost looks like he's trying to figure out what's going to work in a 2 or 3 car pack without any drafting help to get the outside moving.
That Ayrton able to close up big time, going down back straight. Lost it a little bit through the bus stop there, but still in the picture. Meanwhile, Nicholson over 5 seconds back. So we've seen him do it before, and the way these guys are going at it for the lead. Burkhart with that advantage, he's going to cut Jeansonne off and give that advantage, give the lead across the line by well over 7/10 of a second. Morgan Burkhart.
Jeansonne now having to try and make up 5-6 car lanes. That brings Hook right into the picture for second, if anything. And he's an interesting one. We touched upon it a little bit earlier in terms of his background, but he, as he puts it, an American racer with the heart of a Brazilian champion, of course, has the first name for Ayrton Senna, where a lot of inspiration is grew up from the suburbs of Indianapolis, currently is a finance student actually at Purdue. On top of now being a USF 2000 Rookie of the Year contender, and as you talked about pre-race, one of the drivers looking to Indy NXT for the future.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet him and his dad actually at IMS at the Wings and Wheels Eclipse event. They hosted a beautiful event, or IMS did. When the Eclipse happened here in the Indy Totality just a couple of months ago, and Wings and Wheels invited me out. Contact for the lead.
Oh, that was a lap car. Chris Tracy just came out of the pit lane and is trying to wreck the leader. What is going on here?
I have no idea what is going on. Tracy just joined the session. Contact! He's going to get turned by Aaron Jeansonne. That's going to allow Hook to go around. Tracy is 19 laps down. Jeansonne having the pit now for damage, broken suspension. This is going to change everything. It's now a battle between Burkhart and Hook.
And this is going to ruffle things because now you have Gillen out of the race. You have Jeansonne now out of the race. Here's the thing, Chris Tracy just joined the race. He's 19 laps down, make it 20. Whoever Chris Tracy is, he is disqualified. We can tell you that.
For reference, we are 22 laps into this event, so he has done all of about a lap and a half. And he would not do any more. Nicholson talked about, needs some drama, needs some help. Back up to second there in that red number 56 machine. So there's around Ayrton Hook there, and he's going to chase down Morgan Burkhart. There's a little bit of damage on that front bumper to Burkhart's Miata. I don't know if that was from Tracy. I don't know if he had any contact. I know Jeansonne definitely did, though. So a little bit of shakeup in the final couple minutes for this one.
We can tell you the right side damage on Burkhart's car was from that incident with the person who decided to enter the race. Nicholson adds some damage to his door for good measure, and now Hook's trying to push him forward.
Yeah, we talked about how vulnerable you are out in the lead like Burkhart is, especially running the top like that. Works if you have some draft help, but you're leaving yourself extra vulnerable because you're running a higher line and more distance. Hook gets loose going through the final bus stop. He's going to lose a ton of time in Nicholson as he was pushing him through NASCAR 3 and 4. They made up a ton of time in Nicholson versus Burkhart for now.
All this as well, by the way, Mott just got passed by Piatek for the 4th position. Mott, give him a huge shout out. Last place starter when it comes to the official starters. Well, his technical connection wants to fight with him. I can tell you this, he has definitely fought his way up here from 13th to 5th. Initially, in terms of those who started, he would have been 24th out of these starters if all cars did take the green flag. So he has made up 19 unofficially. On track, he's made up 8.
Looking at his times too, he's used this for definitely a learning experience. He's picked up well over a second from design practice, and yeah, we talked about the Barbie pink car, and well, he's just Ken, it looks like, because he's scratching Barbie off of it.
Here we go for the lead. Under 6 minutes to work with. Nicholson wants it back. And he gets some rub on Burkhart. Burkhart just squeezing through the needle. Nicholson not afraid to trade paint.
That's exactly what Ayrton Hook needed to get back up to these guys. He's quite a bit away. Had some trouble through the road course section, but side by side for leading Nicholson and Burkhart. Nicholson will have the inside advantage through turn 12, 14, depends what map you look at. Advantage, contact, Burkhart on the wall. He's going to go around. Nicholson still with that advantage. Burkhart down the track. Hook goes around and give this one horse race and Nathan Nicholson 3-second advantage over Ayrton Hook now with just under 5 minutes to go.
And let's take a look because this changes the complexion yet again on what happens up front. Watch Burkhart.
Burkhart in that blue number 2 just tries to step to the outside, pulls the crossover move. He's tried it a ton of times before, and it worked until Nathan Nicholson was there.
And now that sets things up for what could get interesting because Nicholson, he has had another slowdown. Here comes Hook.
Yeah, this is exactly what Hook needed. I was getting ready to say Nicholson's had some trouble with the slowdowns through the road course portion. He said he bought the track. He's going to use the whole track, even though it came with his iRacing subscription. And Hook now right there slides in second. Look who's in third right behind him, though. That's Oliver Piatek. He had that incident after the restart. He's back in the battle for the win here.
Yeah, they are really letting the car throttle breathe. Hard to the wall goes Hook now. And here comes Burkhardt again. They've let off so much in this pack, trying to figure out what each other is going to do here. They've let Burkhardt come back into the conversation despite that incident.
Yeah, a couple guys definitely trying to make the most of it. Not really sure how Burkhardt made up all that time, especially with that damaged right front, but I think it's virtue of battling each other. Nicholson got that slowdown, and they're trying to steal third from Ayrton Hook. Hook has been kind of slowly but surely in the battle since the restart. And I think it's kind of waiting for these guys to start taking each other out, put himself in position. It's almost like a super speedway race. You don't want to get too far out and make yourself too vulnerable. And right now, he's just kind of laying back, kind of Sunday cruising. He can strike if he wants to, but he's waiting for the right opportunity.
Under 3 estimated laps to go, 3 minutes on the clock. Right now, it's Nicholson, Piatek, Burkhardt, Hook, who are all in the conversation to try and win this. Now becomes the big question. How do you set this up? What's going to become the race-winning move amongst this here, Braden?
I'm not really sure what the overall winning move is. I mean, I think if you're Nathan Nicholson, you're very vulnerable right now because you got, Piatek and Hook, not Hook, but Piatek and the Burkhardt. I'm struggling right now, but Burkhardt and Piatek were right there behind them, able to get together a draft a little bit if they want to, and then you got Hook, though, with, I think, the better strategy, and he's able to close up if he needs to. I think he just final lap is going to really push it and try, or the final couple laps, really push it, though, and not fall too far behind, and try to get a big sink shot going through one of the NASCAR corners.
Here comes another run for the lead. Nicholson trying to hold to his left side of the pavement. Squeeze now on Piatek. Contact again. The Delta Sport entry pushed out of the groove. Here comes Burkhardt. Nicholson defensive. Under 2 minutes to go as Burkhardt around the outside takes the lead through top burn turn.
The same spot he lost the race just a couple laps ago. He's going to take advantage and make the most of it to the inside. That's Oliver Piatek. They're going to make contact there, and that's going to allow Nathan Nicholson with an early advantage. Should be coming to the white flag, if not this time, the next time. We're in the final stages. And JP, you might have to remind me, I'm not too sure if you're too sure of yourself here, but with it being a timed race, will they get the white flag, or will iRacing just throw the checkered here?
It's up to Barty here. Remember, they must see the white flag. We are right now in the window to get the white flag, in theory, at the stripe. They will definitely know in session at that time. Watch for Barney when we come around, because Burkhardt, he's still trying to fight it out. Now to the bumper, moves Nicholson out of the way. Now comes Piatek. No place to send. Burkhardt does send to the bus stop with a bump. Nicholson pushes, lunges into the wall nearly. Burkhardt 2 and 3 wide, setting up as Piatek has no place to go but bump.
No white flag yet. We're in the final 40 seconds. A little bit of contact, I think, there. Maybe, maybe not. But they're going to be staggered 3 for a split second. Advantage still goes to Piatek. At least not still, but back up in the lead.
There it is.
First time to restart. And there's the white flag. Final 2.28 miles to go from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Final time around. Piatek is in the lead. Is that too early? Burkhardt better running through turn 2 up to 3. Nearly to the wall goes Nicholson. Piatek trying to hold on along the sausage curbing. Burkhardt all over the bumper, nearly rubbed out of the way as they go wide.
Burkhardt in the grass, able to keep it going. It's going to allow Nicholson side by side for second. Piatek with the advantage through the final road course corners, getting ready to come out and through NASCAR 1 here. One more left-hander before he gets on the oval portion. Hook is still back, about a second or so back. Not quite in position, but he needs a big run down the straightaway from 4th. He wants to get a podium here.
This can come down to the final stretch. The bus stop's been treacherous for sends today. Burkhardt not afraid to send. Nicholson forced back to 3rd. Piatek right now up front. He's got the cleanest car. Burkhardt's got the big momentum. Side by side for the bus stop. Pietek lets Burkhardt take it. A lunge for Pietek to the bumper. They slide. They drip to the corner. Pietek gets the better grip for the final time.
Burkhardt on the bottom, side by side with Nicholson there for second. Pietek with the advantage. He's going to have one more opportunity, one more cinder going through the final bus stop coming off on NASCAR 4. Pietek with the advantage. Hook is in the picture now. They're still side by side for second.
Nicholson with the lunge. Inside, he spins it. Able to hold on, it's Delta Sports. Pietek, he takes the inaugural race for Wings and Wheels here at iRacing. He holds on and a crash final second. How about that for a finish over Burkhardt and Hook?
Pietek was blocking the bottom, blocking the top, blocking the middle. He wasn't going to let Burkhardt around no matter what. They wreck after the line, and look who still is third there. Ayrton Hook as Nathan Nicholson actually falls all the way down to 7th. Wow, that's heartbreaking there for Nicholson.
Let's take a break. Post-race coverage coming up in just a moment. When we come back, we'll break things down as Pietek holds on to take the inaugural race wing for Wings and Wheels GGT Energy MX-5 Series action.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back after a thrilling finish for Wings and Wheels and its recruitment race here tonight from iRacing Virtual Charlotte. Justin Prince, Braden Laster with you, DJ Line, our producer. A wild finish to this one. Let's take a look at the results as Pietek takes the inaugural win for this series. He does it in the inaugural race. We'll see how things go for the points paying races. Burkhardt and Hook, your top 3. Soto and Mott, your top 5. Burke, Nicholson, along with Jeansonne in the top 8. Then Gilliland. He signed up after the race ended despite 6 laps down to 9th. Ian Adams round out your top 10. The rest of your starters tonight are Dylan Lee, all with Ray Villa. You also have Kendall Tucker, and we'll not talk about the last of those on your list. So, how about that for the start of a series? And we haven't started points paying racing yet.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at the upcoming races, I mean, I said beforehand, when you put the best of the best, both on iRacing and in the real road racing aspects, it creates some awesome racing. And then we're going to Daytona for the first opening race. We saw how much the drafting came into effect here at Charlotte. We're going to multiply by about 5 next time out.
And again, that'll be June the 20th, 8 p.m. start. That should be a fun one when we go racing, and that's going to be massive for the draft too, especially since the run from the bus stop in Le Mans all the way up to the start and finish line, you might see 3 wide for the win.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch for sure. So, Pietek there and Burkhardt, I mean, they fought to the final corner, and Nicholson fought to the final corner. We talked about Hook there. I think he was a little bit late, waited to the last possible second. I think that's what cost him a chance to win, but he was there at the end when it mattered most.
And that should be a fun time when it comes to things when that series sees its first points paying race, and this one tonight, of course, in turn next week. But overall, the entertainment coming to a close here tonight on Maconi Entertainment. The next race, as mentioned, Daytona on June the 20th. Calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Braden Laster. DJ Line was our producer once again here this evening. Thanks once again to our viewers for watching tonight's action. Hope you stay tuned to our social media pages for our next race. Once again, thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. Once again, it's Olivia Kiatek who comes away with the first win in Wings and Wheels history and does so in the equipment race here from Charlotte.